I don't know if Adobe is also, but I did listen to the podcast last week, and even
Uh,
though I could hear it, it didn't sound like I don't even think I could hear the reverb through the
yeah, it
speakers.
wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to License to View. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, you would
Hmm.
think that as I get older, personally, I'm not gonna speak for you, Zach,
Okay.
that I'm usually a morning person. That's usually my game.
I would consider myself a morning person, although I don't personally want to be a morning person, but my body makes me a morning person. So,
Exactly. But as I'm getting older, I would assume that that transition would become more fully formed
hmm
because old people are always up super fucking early.
yeah, my grandparents. That was the one thing I remember going to my grandma's house on my dad's side was that didn't matter how early I got up, my grandma was always
They're
up
already
before
there.
me,
They're
already
already
up,
up.
sitting in the couch watching the morning news. I'm like,
Yeah,
what time did you get up?
but it's like like man, something about quarantine or something. I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm like not going to sleep on
It's messing with people's bodily schedules.
like
Yeah.
I tell you what, dude. Like every weekend, it may because I'm like so busy with like
hmm
work, full time school,
Yeah.
girlfriend, dogs, life,
Mm-hmm.
other shit. That like I'll stay up on Friday. Like if we record on a Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
on Friday I'll go to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God.
So when I get to the podcast, I've just been asleep for 3 4 hours, maybe five.
Mm-hmm.
I was last night. I was at 2 o'clock. I was like, I'm gonna go to bed right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just get some hours in.
Yeah.
And I had my alarm, 8:10.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up, shower, do the morning biz.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sleeping. Alarm goes off. I'm like, I can pull up 10 more minutes. I wake up again, 8:48. I'm like, oh, okay, shit. Hold on.
All right.
Thankfully, my computer's already set up because last night I was doing a lot of like, editing or whatever. But
Yeah.
Zach, this is our podcast.
This is.
This is episode 99, and just like last week, I will say it again this week. We're gonna have to roll into being awake
It's true.
because it's the early Sunday morning. So we're
I
going to progress
yeah.
into that alertness of the podcast.
Yeah. Well, it was for me last night. It was like I didn't even get home until 12, 12 or so. Because
Yeah.
normally I'm off at like 11 p.m. for my night shift on the weekends. But for the past 2 weekends, our prompter guy has been, I don't know where he is. Like last week he called out sick. I don't know where he is this week. But so I've been having to roll prompter for the shows that I'm not doing. So I had to be there. So I had to roll prompter for our 11. So that show doesn't end until 11:30. And then we had to record morning sports for
Wow.
the weekend mornings too. And the freaking game from the fucking college down here didn't want to end.
Yeah.
It started at like 7:30 and it's like 11:45 and it's still freaking going. And we're all like, what the hell, man? But so
Here's some
yeah.
inside baseball, um,
Mm,
for people who don't know the the local news business.
yeah.
No matter where you're at,
Mm,
um, the two things that will fuck your shit up any time of the year
yeah.
is NASCAR and
hmm
golf.
Yeah.
Those
Oh, well,
two.
that's the
Those
one thing.
two.
I didn't have to deal with that at ABC too much, but yeah, it's like NBC is just like
Yeah,
constantly. It's
dude.
every weekend. There's some golf thing going on
We
that always
we
messes with our six.
we got fucked with golf all the time. I remember, and it's different for
Yeah.
me obviously because I was a photog and you're a producer, but
hmm
and people don't know the podcast. Uh, Zach and I both. Well, I used to work in news, and you currently work in news.
hmm
Um, that's not how we met. It just happened that way.
No.
Um, but I would be set up for a live shot
hmm
in the summer, like in
Yeah.
the fucking summer. I remember one particular live shot, and I got the truck pulled up. I'm in a
hmm
tight spot. I'm in a fucking shady area where
Yeah.
I'm at a vigil for a guy
hmm
who got shot at
hmm
like a biker bar,
Yeah.
and it's fucking sunny as shit. And I got like some sort of fumes pumping out this truck. I don't know what it is, man. Monoxide,
hmm
CO2. Something's pumping out this truck that should be pumping out this truck.
Right.
Got the mast up. I got cable pulled across the fucking interstate, across like a
hmm
fucking major traffic.
Right.
And they're just like, I don't know, like there's like some sort of bug just flying around all over, just biting us, like mosquitoes or
Yeah.
some bullshit. So I'm like lacing myself up with bug
Hmm.
spray, and I'm like on the fucking IFB. People don't know what IFB is. It's a
Yeah.
phone, something you dial into so you can talk to your whole show.
Yeah, basically.
So I'm talking to my producer. I'm like, hey, ETA on golf, and they're like, we think 10 more minutes. Okay, 10 more minutes becomes 20. Literally, dude, I was out there for an hour and a half before,
Yeah.
and I'm like, hey guys, the show's over by 30 minutes now. I think we're done.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, golf went over.
Yeah, I don't honestly the fact that it went that long is kind of crazy because yeah, it's ours. It's usually our 6 p.m. on the weekends is the one that gets messed up by golf. Although last week we got messed up by because last week the prompter operator, like I said, called in sick, and so on Saturday we got messed over by hockey
Oh,
because it was the finals of the Stanley Cup, and Tampa Bay decided that they didn't want to win,
yeah.
and went into overtime. And so we waited. It was like after 12 o'clock before we even started that show when Tampa Bay just finally decided that they wanted to
Play.
lose that game. Um, and then Sunday is football. And for late shows, football always messes you up if you have a late
Yeah.
football. It always
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
It's great. It's unavoidable that football will mess you up because football always goes over. Um, so
Mhm.
yeah, that happened. So I mean, it's just like that's the biggest thing that always kills us is sports. It's always
Yeah.
sports. But the fact that you said that you were out there for like, because for us, it's like our cutoff point is like usually if it goes over like 5 or so minutes, we'll like squeeze the show in
Mhm.
or maybe like 10 to 15 maybe. You like I think it's like 10. You like still like squeeze the show in, so you just do like a shorter show,
Yep.
just killing a bunch of stuff. So normally you only get like the main reporter stories and then like weather and maybe sports, if sports still has anything to do. Um, but and usually the cutoff for that is like I don't know what it was like at other stations, or at your station, but at our station it's like cutoff point is if it goes longer than I think it's like 6:18 or something like that. They're like, that's it. We don't got no show. Cut it.
I remember me and my
Because we have nightly news, and so at our
yeah.
station they're like, no, you don't cut off nightly news. And I was like, all right, whatever,
Yeah,
doesn't matter
we
to
had
me.
Dateline, and
Yeah,
I remember being like,
maybe that's why. Because Daylight's not necessarily like a news
I
thing.
remember
It's more
being
like
like,
sports stuff.
dude, we're not condensing. If
Yeah,
we're gonna condense, you tell me now.
yeah,
If you're gonna move my hit to the D block, or are
yeah,
you condensing the D block? Are we going to the C block? I need to know every single moment
yeah,
that we're being condensed to. If we're not being condensed, and if we're just gonna move, then just move it. Like
yeah,
fucking tell me so I can come back later tonight and do the hit again at 11 with the full hit. Um, but
yeah.
there's a reason why most of those producers aren't producers anymore. Because even them, they wanted to kill themselves. All right, this is License to View. This ain't the fucking local news podcast.
Yeah.
Even though I guarantee that'd be a very
The
fun
behind the
podcast.
desk
Yeah, that would be a
podcast.
fun podcast where people would be like, maybe news,
Hmm.
maybe there's something going on here. Because
Hmm.
there's a lot of interesting things that happen
A lot of
in
stories.
in
Yeah.
that business.
Mhm.
Zach, what have you been up to, man? Last week or so?
Oh, Jason. Oh, it's been a busy week.
Yeah.
Busy week. So first thing first is that this actually came in the mail like Friday, and I wasn't expecting it to because it wasn't supposed to come in until Monday.
Okay.
But since I got it, I figure I show it off.
Yeah, definitely.
Which was that I got
Go for
my
broke.
Psycho Green
Yeah,
Ranger
yeah,
coming in the
yeah.
mail. He looks great. I love him.
So did you?
Uh,
What you never told me? Where'd you end up picking them up from?
I got him from one of the eBay links that you sent me.
Okay.
It was like one. I found one. And it was like $45, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's like half the price of what I would have paid with Walmart. So
Yeah,
that works.
absolutely, absolutely. And for people who don't know the story, obviously we didn't talk about it on the
Yeah.
podcast, but you bought Psycho Green from
Yes.
Toy Wiz, which is immediate no
Yeah.
because you paid what was it 80,
I think it was going to be like 88. Yeah.
And that's
with,
rough,
with
man.
with shipping.
and that's rough, buddy.
Yeah. But yeah, but then I got the refund to the PayPal, and so yeah, now we got $45 later. We got my Psycho Green here, and now I really want to get that box set. It's all Rocco's fault because I started watching his toy reviews again, and he's got the Psycho Green. And I saw the first one. Well, the first one I saw was the newest one where he had the box set, and I was like, damn, those look sick.
And I really don't understand why Hasbro didn't. Why are they? I don't know why they
Yeah.
didn't keep it as a. I don't know why there's not a full set.
Well, it's the full set of the regulars, but yeah, Green is like off on his own, which is weird. But
was yeah,
but before that,
because Space there isn't a Green. Yeah, so where does Psycho Green come from? I don't remember. I don't remember seeing him in the show.
I don't remember where he comes from. I just know he looks. I don't even remember the
Maybe
Psycho Rangers.
maybe okay. So the Psycho Rangers were a first show in space.
Okay.
They were like the bad group.
That's why I
space.
really don't remember Power Rangers Space that much.
Yeah, and so they matched each Ranger in space, but I guess that makes sense because there's no Green Space Ranger.
Yeah.
Their third Ranger is Silver, and they didn't have a Psycho Silver.
Yeah.
That makes maybe it's a comic book thing.
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't read too much on the. I know it's the Lightning Collection, so I know it's a mix of like the TV show and the comics and stuff like that. But
Psycho Green.
I don't know. I haven't read enough into the comic. I mean, it probably is because the comics like are heavy into like, Lord Draken and all like the Green Ranger stuff. So I bet you if it's anywhere,
I think he's a comic book exclusive character.
Yeah.
Because I googled his name and the Power Rangers fandom.com.
Yeah.
Has like a name and all this stuff, so I think he's a
okay.
First appearance is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Boom Studios issue 20. So
okay,
that's why he's exclusive. Okay, gotcha.
Makes sense.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so there's that, and then I really want to get that box set, dude. Rocco had so much good Power Ranger stuff. I was like,
it's him, yeah.
Because I'm usually not a big Power Rangers guy, but like I was watching his reviews, and I was like, he had the Psycho Rangers, which all the Psycho Rangers look sick. I like that box set a lot, and I was surprised when he was like, "Yeah, they've never had yellow and pink for the Psycho Rangers before." And I was like, I don't understand that they always like leave out certain color. I mean, I guess they're like not as popular. But
prior companies who had Power Rangers just weren't that people didn't want to buy lady characters.
Yeah.
And it's weird too because Hasbro with the Lightning Collection, and it's something that's unavoidable. But something that I really don't like, and they're starting to change it now slowly. They announced this past week at their convention, but like they never do monsters, and the releases of sets. Like
the only one I saw Goldar. I think
Goldar's
at
out.
That
that's really it. They have Putties, they have Goldar, Rita, Zed. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
They just announced they're finally releasing some more monsters, like starting to release more monsters, but also their waves are so like what's the quality of the waves are up and down for me in terms of like what they mix.
Very sporadic. Yeah.
Like if you want to collect just Mighty Morphin, well, you're having to wait a bunch of waves to collect Mighty Morphin because they don't put them together. So you'll get one.
They don't put them together.
You'll get Mighty Morphin White, or no Mighty Morphin Red. And you'll get a Beast Morphers Red, and then you'll get something else, and then something else in the wave. So like you can't. They're not giving you everything at once because they don't want you to stop. They want you to buy.
Right. Yeah. That
and
makes
hunt
sense.
and multiple whatever.
Want you to keep you around, yeah.
Right. And I get it, but for me personally, there's someone who only would only collect a couple of different seasons.
Yeah.
Even if I like a lot of seasons, I only want to have a couple seasons.
Yeah. I would really only collect like Mighty Morphin, maybe Zeo, because I like the Gold Ranger. He's pretty cool.
Jason.
Yeah, Jason has the Gold Ranger, man.
Well, I think the original Gold Ranger is Trey. I could be wrong. He's an alien.
I can't remember.
I
thought Jason was the original, and then somebody else took it over from him.
No, so the original Gold Ranger is an alien guy who can't control. It's one person.
I need to rewatch Zeo again.
Yeah, he's an alien guy, but he like has something wrong with him, and he splits into three people, three twins or triplets or whatever, and he can't morph anymore, so he has to get the power off of someone else, and they bring Jason back in.
Interesting.
To be the Gold Ranger.
I have to rewatch it again. I watched Mighty Morphin a couple of years ago, but I need to go back and rewatch Zeo because I remember liking Zeo a lot.
Zeo has one of the best theme songs.
It's
a really good theme song.
I can't even remember it.
Stronger than before.
Oh yeah, that is Zeo.
I can't sing obviously, but it's a really great theme song. There's some good
I
theme
had
songs.
it just from that.
So Zeo's good, like theme song wise, and I think
Yeah.
Time Force is really good. Lost Galaxy is
I
a
remember
banger.
liking Time Force Story because that's the one where the Red Ranger is from the future, right? Or
No,
there's like two Red Rangers in the show.
so there's two Time Force is that there's a now I'm trying not to confuse my Sentai because they're different.
Yeah.
But the basic premise is that um, the main bad guy from Mad Max 2
Mm-hmm.
is Rancic, who's the bad guy in Power Rangers Time Force. He's
Okay.
like a futuristic criminal, like
Mm-hmm.
bad guy, wanted kind of guy. He's trying
This
to go
guy
to
with
the
the eye
pat.
patch, right?
Does he have eye patch? The guy like
Yeah.
the silver on his face and like the fucked up skin. His name's Rancic.
Yeah. Rancic.
He's
He
a
has the eye
bone
patch.
sword. He like
Yeah.
pulls
Well,
out
he's
his
got like
body.
a silver. I mean, it
Yeah,
covers his
yeah.
eye basically, but
But
yeah.
he's going to the past. I think he's trying to like, take over the future from the past. The typical bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kills the Red Ranger in the process of going to the past, which forces his girlfriend, who's the Pink Ranger, or his fiance,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of the team to go from the future to the past, and they find a guy named Wes, who's like
Mm-hmm.
they're like a some descent, who's gonna be some descendant. I guess vice versa. He's the guy from the future, the Power Ranger from the future, a descendant of this guy. That's why
Okay.
they look very similar or identical or whatever the fuck,
Mm-hmm.
which allows him to access the Morpher because they have similar DNA. Because the
Okay.
Morphers are like, I guess they're like, I think they're, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're like, once you put it on, it's like only you can use it type shit. I could be wrong though.
Okay.
But he doesn't die. He comes back from the future. The other guy
Mm-hmm.
tries leading the team. Doesn't work out very well because he's a super dickhead. And the other Red Ranger's like a cool guy.
Okay.
There's a really great scene in that show, and it's not Power Ranger cast, but I will say this: there's a really great scene in that show. I haven't seen it in Japanese yet. I
Mm-hmm.
started watching it, but I just haven't finished it because it's on Tubi.
Mm-hmm.
Where the main character Wes, the Red Ranger from the past, is
Mm-hmm.
he's a spoiled rich kid. Well, not spoiled. He's a rich kid,
Mm-hmm.
and his dad owns like a private security company or something like that.
Okay.
And Wes just wants to do his own thing, classic. I'm a rich kid, but I don't want to be a
Yeah.
rich kid type thing. Like I want to help people, that kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
And his dad's like, "You're gonna take over the company, and you're gonna be an asshole, right?" And
Oh, that's
Wes,
basically. I mean, not that it's like a new thing, but I'm pretty sure that's, if I remember correctly, from my favorite season, Dino Thunder. That is also the backstory of the evil White Ranger, soon to become good White Ranger.
oh, what? I don't know.
Because his
Was he
father
rich?
his father ends up being the bad guy.
Mesogog.
Yeah,
Mesogog.
yeah, Mesogog. And
Yeah.
because his father, somehow there was like an experiment or something like that, he turns to half T-Rex.
Yeah.
But his father is like the rich businessman, and he wants
Yeah.
his son to take over. His son's like, "F you, Dad.
Also,
I'm gonna do my own thing."
that fig came out like last month. It was
The White Ranger
Yeah.
from it's like my
I
favorite.
think it was a
Ranger from that
Walgreens.
show.
I think it was Walgreens exclusive.
Oh, that's like my favorite Ranger from that show. I
Yeah.
love that show so much.
It's a great season.
Yeah.
But my point was that there's a great scene in Time Force where his dad doesn't know he's a Power Ranger yet, and they're fighting this monster, and this guy's just fucking running through the Rangers, man.
Mm-hmm.
And Wes, I think the bad guy was gonna like blow up his dad or something, like kill him, like shoot the not Rangers, like civilians.
Damn.
So Wes runs in front, takes the blast, right? The blast is so powerful that it only destroys his visor in a perfect
yeah, in a perfect eye
perfect
eye
thing. So he looks at his dad, and his dad's like, "Huh? I know my son's eyes." And then his dad's like, "Wes?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, only the perfect fucking visor."
Only so you can see his eyes.
Like what should have happened was like it hit him and then he demorphs.
Yeah,
Like
that cool.
that happens before. Like you get hurt so bad, your morphs are like, "Fuck this, I'm out." And then
happens a lot. Yeah. Especially when they like take on like a new powerful monster that they haven't been able to see before, and they all demorph because he just like whacks him with the back of his hand.
Yeah, but his dad's like, "Oh, I know that." And then also Time Force has the greatest side ranger, or whatever you want to call him, sixth ranger of all time, which is the oh god, what's it called now? Not Delta Ranger.
That's the second Red Ranger, right?
Yeah, the guy with the gun.
Yeah, Delta.
Oh
I
my
think he's
god,
Delta
no, it's
Ranger.
not Delta. What is it? It's Virgil.
Yeah, he's basically Virgil. Well,
No,
he's in
he
the
is
he's in the
Virgil.
game now, and he basically plays like Virgil.
No, I'm saying he's the voice actor for Virgil.
Oh, okay.
But what's his
That makes sense.
what's his ranger's name? I can't remember what it
Hold
is.
on.
It's like Dino or
Check it
Delta
out.
or
I swear to God, I think it's Delta.
the black
Quantum. It's the
Quantum
Ranger.
Ranger. Yeah, he's the T-Rex guy. He's black and red,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
such a badass. And the
His
gun,
costume's so sick too.
his
Oh.
gun turns into a sword.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that was so cool, man.
But yeah, I mean, well, I mean, speaking of Virgil, he plays like because they've got the Power Rangers fighting game.
Yeah.
Oh. And I think they had the Quantum Ranger in it in like the last DLC update, and everybody's like, this character plays just like Virgil, and I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Well, they made it because he's Virgil.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been Virgil since 3, DMC
Yeah.
3. He was like the original Virgil.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Dino Thunder a lot. Except
Dino Thunder
I was
is
rewatching
so good.
it probably like I watched the first 5 episodes again like.
I know this might be blasphemy, but Dino Thunder is probably the one that got me into Power Rangers the most, more than like Mighty Morphin or anything like that, because I think that was the one where it was like, because I don't remember like watching Mighty Morphin all the way through when I was a kid, but like Dino Thunder was the one where it was
because it
like,
came out before you were born.
yeah, I think that was the one where it was like right in that sweet spot when I was like 8 or 9, or I was like watching Dino Thunder like every week. Like I loved watching Dino Thunder.
Well,
also it has my sweet spot, which is dinosaurs, so I obviously loved it.
I mean I was much earlier because it was by the time I can like understand I have pictures of me of Power Rangers toys, like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers toys as a kid, but like it really was like Lost Galaxy.
Yeah.
It was like kind of my age range where I was old enough to kind of comprehend plot lines.
Yeah.
And not just watch colored people like
Yeah.
like colored ranger people like fighting stuff, you know?
Yeah. It sucks though, because like Dino Thunder, I think Dino Thunder was like the last of the good seasons that I remember for me, because it was like, but Dino Thunder was good. Before that was Ninja Storm, I think, which I like Ninja Storm a lot too. But then after that was like, I don't remember which one it was. It was like the Beast one.
It's because
and I don't like the Beast one. And then they had the Magician one that I thought it was like okay, but like it wasn't as good as Dino.
Do you want to know why? Quality.
Tell me why. Because didn't Saban lose the?
You're gonna be surprised because Saban sold Power Rangers to Disney.
Yeah, because I remember that because I think it was the Wild Force. I think it was Wild Force was like the first one was like on the Disney Channel, and I was like, oh, this is.
Yeah, I think Time Force was the last Fox one. Or either Wild Force might have been the last Saban. I can't remember which one was the last one, but those Disney like things were so like RPM, Operation Overdrive.
I did like SPD though. SPD was a good season.
SPD, another great opening.
Yeah. SPD had a great opening.
You should watch this guy.
It had some great characters in it too.
It did. There's this guy on YouTube. I can't remember his name, but I can find it for you if you can't find it. But he's a guitar player. And he did an album of every Power Rangers theme song with metal, like a metal covers. And he did a YouTube video, not doing doing the highlights of that album on YouTube, and it's like it's pretty jammy.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I want to check that out then for sure.
No man, but Dino Thunder's great. I had a huge crush on Kira as a kid.
She's good. Yeah.
I had
a huge crush. This might show a little bit too much, but on the main villain chick, I thought she was pretty hot too. Can't remember what her name was, but
Dino Thunder.
Yeah.
Oh, the principal.
Yes, the principal.
Yeah. Yes. You know what really kills me about that show? I was rewatching it. My point was this: I was rewatching it recently, or the first few episodes, and in the first episode, that principal lady is like, Dr. Oliver. I'm like, Doctor. Oh, he's a fucking doctor.
He's a doctor, man.
I remember doing the math like on my phone at the calculator. Like, okay, how old was he in 91, 92, the show? Okay, how old is he in the show? I'm like, you ain't a doctor. It's like you're too young to be a fucking.
I think he was like early 30s.
Like you're too young to be a fucking doctor, bro. Yeah. Something like that. I was like, come on, you're a doctor of dinosaurs. I mean, I know it's Power Rangers, whatever. But like, you know what's really great? I never watched the season, but I watched it on YouTube. Is that Johnny Young Bosch, who plays Adam? He came back and did a really awesome like returned, like, hey, here's a cameo, and he like came back and did a fight scene like in later seasons, and like does a Mighty Morphin morph, and it looks fucking so badass.
Damn, dude.
They like re-updated the henshin sequence, so it has like lightning and shit, and like fucking explosions and all this stuff.
Damn, son. Those crossover episodes with the Red Rangers, man. Oh, those are always the best.
Oh, you mean Forever Red? I personally didn't love Forever Red as a kid. I thought
There's a couple of ones that like aren't as big as Forever Red, but I remember, just like when they cross over with older season Rangers, just for whatever reason. Which I mean, Dino Thunder is basically the whole thing because you got Tommy Oliver, but.
Hold on, shit.
I'm pretty sure that even like I feel like Ninja Storm had a crossover episode with like an older season. I don't remember which one it was, but
there's a couple, man. There's a really good In Space where Adam comes back. I love Adam because he was like the first Asian guy I watched on TV. But there's a scene where Adam in Space is the Morphers are dead, pretty much, right? The Mighty Morphin Morphers are dead. That's why they had to go to Zeo, all that kind of stuff. But for some reason, Adam still has his Morpher, but if he uses it and connects to the morphing grid, is what we're assuming now.
Yeah,
it could be dangerous. It might explode, kill him, or whatever. But the current Space Ranger, Green Ranger, or whatever, is like getting his fucking face like kicked in, right? And he can't morph. And Adam's like, what am I gonna do? And then like he has like long hair and all this bad. This is Ichigo, by the way. This is the guy who fucking plays Ichigo in Bleach. So he's like has that great voice. He's Kaneda and Akira.
Okay.
And he fucking I was gonna say R2D2, but it's fucking Alpha. Alpha's like, Adam, don't do it, and he's like, I can't not do it, dude. It's fucking morphin' time, and like, everyone's like, no. It was so badass, man. It's so badass for a show about people in fucking spandex.
That's pretty good.
It's good. If you want to see the exact scene, it's at 413. But it's a really good clip of a good. Space is a good show, man.
Yeah.
But so besides that figure.
Yes.
For what else have you been checking out?
So a couple other things I've been checking out. So speaking of the guy who played Kaneda, I was able to watch Akira in 4K in the movie theater.
Yeah, you told me that.
Movie's gorgeous, dude. God, it looks so good. Especially being like, because I mean, I've watched the movie before, but it also had been like, I feel like it's been a long time since I watched it, where it was like, back in my younger days, when I didn't really like think about what I was watching too often.
Right.
I would say I'm a much more critical watcher than I used to be.
Sure.
And stories freaking all over the place.
It's because they try to cram in 5 volumes, 6 volumes of manga into a movie.
Well, I've seen the omnibuses for Akira, and yeah, it's like they're too like
they're big.
Literally like the double the size of my head, and yeah, they try to cram it all into like an hour and a half to like 2 hours.
Like they don't show like having read the manga after I watched the movie. Like I think like most people, I'm assuming.
Well, I know they cut out a lot of the like the backstory for Akira itself, which
there
is like
so much stuff that's not there. Like even with Kaneda alone, like becoming part of like the resistance stuff, like so much stuff is gone. Like they don't really build upon the relationship between him and the girl at all.
Yeah.
In the movie, like they kind of like
he's kind of just like, oh, I think you're cute, and then he just keeps following her around.
They don't build upon that much, like all that stuff's kind of not there. But what the movie does really well is make it look good.
It makes it
like makes the city look good, makes the motorcycles look good.
Well, it was like it's like it was like this Blade Runner and like Ghost in the Shell are like the basis for all cyberpunk that's ever existed.
I don't know because this came out 88, 89.
I feel like it was like
when
mid 80s. I don't know.
When did the manga come out? I think it's like manga might be mid 80s.
88, yeah.
The movie's 88.
Yeah.
So like, and then Getting Gets is 90 something.
Is it?
It's when the movie came out.
It's like 95. Okay.
95.
I thought it was earlier than that, but.
Well, I know the manga came out because the guy Masahiro Shiro, I think is his name.
I think it's Masahiro.
He Masamune. He has done so much cyberpunk, like all his shit's cyberpunk.
Yeah.
all his stuff like between like Appleseed and like all
Yeah.
that shit. Ghost in the Shell like 89 90, um, Appleseed 85 to 89 like that's his longest running series. That's all cyberpunk shit. So like
Yeah.
between like those are all like similar things. I think if you were like super interested in cyberpunk, I mean, I don't know how you would find English translated Appleseed 1985. I don't know if that's a thing.
I don't know if you could find the manga, but I know that there's a couple of movies that are
But
out
when the movies
about
come out,
there.
years later.
Yeah.
But I mean, for someone like me, who would look back at cyberpunk, like the things that would hit are like, yeah, Blade Runner,
Yeah.
Gits, Akira.
Hmm.
Even though Akira is like a very different cyberpunk, like it's like
Yeah,
cyberpunk with like super sci-fi, like in like
it's
mutant
super
shit.
sci-fi in some parts, but like super lo-fi in other parts.
Yeah, because
Because
like,
I mean, the world is like definitely it's got the cyberpunk aesthetic,
well, it doesn't,
world building.
it doesn't ask what cyberpunk usually asks you to think about.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
Blade Runner and Ghost in the Shell have the exact same like question,
Yeah.
like humanity, like how what part of at what point do you
Blending of
alter your
humanity and
body?
technology,
Yeah, at
and
what point do you keep
at what
altering
point
your
do
body? Do you
yeah,
lose your humanity? All that kind of that's exactly what Blade
at
Runner
what
is,
point do
except
like
for
machines become human and that kind of
right,
thing.
you know, because even that
Yeah,
like
Akira has like a whole different. Well, Akira is like a
government,
super anti-war,
anti-war, anti like nuclear
yeah,
weapon, anti like government, government control.
anti-establishment.
Yeah,
I forgot about the fact that like this whole movie is based around like protests and rioting in the middle of
yeah.
Neo Tokyo.
I mean, even the fact that the main character is a biker, like
Yeah,
he's a loser. He's like
that's the most cyberpunk thing of the whole show is that his bike, dude. Oh my god, the
yeah.
bike is so sick.
And
Oh
he's a biker who like is like in a vocational school, so he's not even like at a regular school. He's like at a
yeah,
fucking like, hey, do you want to go be like a welder or
yeah.
something? That's kind of where he's at.
Delinquent school where the whole thing's
Yeah.
just like graffitied up and nobody cares and the teacher gets like pelted with shit every
Well,
time
it's
he
like
walks into
so.
class.
I haven't read the book yet,
Hmm.
but I love the Warriors. I love the movie.
Mm.
I've seen it 1,000 times. One of my favorite movies
I
of
would
all
compare
time.
this more style wise to the Warriors with like a little bit more
Um,
sci-fi in it.
so I mean, I'm not trying to compare the two, but I definitely agree. It definitely has more of a Warriors vibe than it does Ghost in
Yeah.
the Shell vibe. But
Hmm.
I was more thinking about like the characterization of like street thugs,
Oh yeah.
and like I watched the Warriors, and like it's
Hmm.
very like they're gangs and they're bad
Yeah.
guys. Like they're not good guys, but they're bad guys. But
No.
there are good guys. But there are bad guys, right?
Yeah.
But I remember years ago, I was reading up on the Warriors,
Hmm.
and it's based on a novel. Like it's
Is
like
it
adapted from a novel, and the
interesting?
novel is like about like a similar thing, like Hispanic and black street gang in the same time period, whatever. But I forget what the names were like, of the gang, but like they're like way worse. Like they like rape
Mm.
a girl on a train,
Oh my
like
god.
all this shit. And I was like, yeah, I'm glad you guys changed the movie. I'm
They like
glad you
hinted at that a little bit from what I remember in the movie. There's that one point where the one guy,
Ajax,
um, yeah, Ajax, like
Dexter's
basically tries
dad.
to rape a girl.
Well,
Well,
like
that's why he ends up all alone because he like wants to sexually
yeah.
assault this girl who's like alone in the park. And
Well,
then
like
he gets beat up and killed.
no, she's a cop.
Oh, is that what happens? I
Yeah,
can't
so
remember.
he's like trying to
I need
get
to
with
rewatch
her,
that
and
movie.
she like handcuffs him to the bench.
Mm.
But like yeah, he's like the only remnant of like from what I understand, like from the original material. Where like yeah,
Mm.
this gang like really blows.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of the gang like they're like honorable,
Yeah.
honorable crews. Like it's very much like the Warriors. The movie reminds me so much of like Japanese like Crow Zero,
Mm.
like delinquent manga, where it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we have a gang and we fight each school for honor. It's like
Yeah.
that's what Warriors the movie reminds me of.
Yeah.
Whereas apparently Warriors the book is like just fucking gnarly.
Mm.
And
Interesting.
it's kind of I mean in terms of like
I didn't know it was based off a book, so that's
yeah I
interesting.
think they're called like the Devastators or some bullshit like that. Like
That's a
some
sick name for a gang.
epic or something. Um, so you watched Akira, you liked it a lot. You said it looked good.
Yeah, looks good. Um, I mean, I think, I mean, yeah, it looks great. I mean, yeah, I mean, I know
I'm
you
waiting
said
for
that
the
you were
4K.
planning
Yeah.
on getting the 4K
Hmm.
Blu-ray, when it comes out, which I didn't know they were coming out. Honestly, I figured it would be like one of those things where, I mean, I bet in Ghost in the Shell doesn't have it either then if Akira is now yet, but I figured those would be ones that like already had 4K
You're surprised.
remastered.
You'd be surprised. Ghost in the Shell came out last month.
Did it? Oh my
Yeah,
god!
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. People are mad about it though.
The 4K?
Yeah,
Why?
because
They changed
they
something?
redid the cover and it doesn't show nips. You think
That's
I'm
such
joking?
a, that's such a
You
dumb
think
reason
I'm?
to be
If you go on
mad.
Amazon and look at the reviews, people are like, they're not complaining. No, listen,
People
dude.
review bomb anything because it was like those dumbasses that review bombed The Boys season 2 because it came out
Weekly.
weekly instead of all at once, and they're like, "This show's the worst."
Look, dude.
And I'm like,
People weren't like bagging on like the transfer, like the
"Yeah,
4K transfer. They weren't worried about that.
no, they were just worried about the box
they were
art."
worried about the fucking cover art.
Yeah,
And
uh,
I remember I was like, oh man, people are giving this shit bad reviews, and they're like,
you
yeah,
start reading the reviews. Yeah.
there's some reviews were like, they, I can't believe that they would do this to this fantastic art. I'm like, who fucking cares?
It's just a cover art. Like, what do you care? As long as the movie's
Like
fine, then that's all that
if
should
they
matter.
altered it in the movie, then I can be
Yeah,
like, okay, that's annoying because it's the
yeah,
movie, right? And it's also a cartoon. Like
yeah.
also like the major's not like getting like banged out on like the
Oh yeah,
no, she's wearing the suit is like invisible, so she has
yeah,
to it's skin tight. Like what the fuck? Like
yeah,
so I don't know if they're if from what I was reading it was the cover art. Now if they're like if they altered like the movie, then I have a problem with that.
yeah,
Um,
for sure.
but yeah, Akira comes out in December. I'm looking forward to picking that up.
Yeah. So they will watch that. Um, to start off the spooky season,
Okay.
I watched the original Scooby Doo movie.
Yeah.
Still a great movie. The most 90s movie made in the 2000s that I think I've ever watched.
And even the live action, right?
Yes, the live
Okay.
action Scooby Doo the movie with
Right.
Freddie Prinze, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Matthew Lillard carrying this freaking franchise on his shoulders. He gets so much screen time in this first movie. I forgot.
And then once again, it's Jess's sister from New Girl
Yes. Is it?
As Velma.
See, I still don't know. I just
You
don't know.
watched. We talked about it last week. You watched the
I know we
movie,
talked about
and
it
you
last
still
week.
don't know.
I guess I need to rewatch New Girl because I just don't
She plays
remember
her
her.
older like loser sister.
I just don't remember her in New Girl. Maybe I
Yeah.
didn't get to the part of New Girl,
Maybe
or
we
maybe
didn't
I
get there yet.
maybe that movie or maybe that episode just stinks.
There, it was okay.
Linda Cardellini. Okay, is she in something else? Maybe that
She's in
I
a
would
lot of
recognize.
stuff. She's in a lot of stuff.
I'm not seeing anything else that I've seen her. Oh, she was in Green Book. She must have paid. She must have played
Vigo's wife.
She must have played Vigo's wife. Yeah. Huh. So yeah, watch that. It's great. I love it. I still think. I actually think rewatching it because I've rewatched both recently. I think I like the first one more. Um, it's great. I mean, it's weird because they both have the same overarching theme. Is well, the first one's more about like because the gang gets separated because they all get jealous of each other.
Yeah.
Um, Velma and Daphne get jealous of Fred because he always takes credit. And then Daphne gets mad because she's always the damsel in distress, and everybody is always like, you can't do anything, blah, blah, blah. And then Velma gets mad at Fred because Fred always takes credit. And then Fred gets mad because everybody thinks he's dumb. And then Shaggy and Scooby are just like, come on, man. Why can't we all just, like, chillax and hang out and be cool, man? Because they're the hippies. And then everybody leaves, and then they come back. It's all about them, like, getting together and, like, rediscovering their friendship and stuff like that, which is nice. But I feel like it still ends up with the same thing where it's like Shaggy and Scooby have to like prove their worth to the group. It still is always, I mean, they're always the linchpin of, the Mystery Inc. And so it's always them trying to bring everybody back together. But yeah, it's great. I love it. I mean, the CGI for the monsters is questionable. But Scooby looks great, and Scrappy Doo looks like Scrappy.
Yeah.
So he transforms into a weird giant monster at the end, which looks strange. But when he's just his little puppy form, he looks great.
Yeah.
Color correction on it looks a little.
I still don't
weird.
remember why is he the bad guy again?
He's the bad guy. His motivation's very muddled because it's basically like
They kicked him out or something.
they kicked him out of Mystery Inc. and so he wants to take over the world to like prove that he's the best, basically. I would assume. Also, it has Mr. Bean in it because apparently Scrappy's robotic body is to take over Mr. Bean and be the owner of this spooky island.
I still remember him being a bad guy ever. Was he ever a bad guy?
He's not. That's the weird thing is that Scrappy's never been a bad guy. He's just the annoying character that like everybody's like, shut up, Scrappy.
Yeah.
But in this one, it's like, also he didn't really do anything like bad to be kicked out of Mr. Inc. Because the whole part is that like he's just being his annoying Scrappy self, and then he pees on Daphne accidentally because he's a puppy, and then they throw him out of the van, and that's the whole. That's a little
rough. That's a little rough.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie in a while.
Yeah, it's good, man. I highly recommend it. It's still fun, but yeah, it's like most 90s movie ever. It's like, well, it's like they go to Spooky Island, like they're the most normal people on this island. Everybody else is like the weird alternative. They've got lots of people with like mohawks and like spiky hair and stuff like that. Like, you know, just total 90s grunge kids like making their way onto Spooky Island. But yeah, it's fun. Super fun. And then the last thing that I checked out was that I started playing a new game that is a free-to-play game on the PS4 called Genshin Impact, which is, I don't know if you've seen anything about this.
No, I've never heard of it before.
But it's a new game from a Chinese mobile game company. But this is like a full-fledged, like, it's like almost like Breath of the Wild style. Super open world, lots of traversal. You can climb everything, you can glide everywhere, and stuff like that. But it's you know, fantasy RPG. It's got some light gotcha elements to it, because it is a mobile game company, so they always kind of like add that stuff in there. But the good thing about this is that, like, you know, it's free to play, and also they like give you so many characters for free that you really don't have to roll for anybody, which is nice. And they give you a lot of currency up front.
Right.
You know, I mean, the game just came out, I think, like Monday or Tuesday. So, you know, I've gotten a couple of free rolls just from that, which is, you know, nice when you don't have to pay for stuff like that. But it's super fun. I mean, I've never played Breath of the Wild, but I know a lot of people compare it to that. But I mean, it's super open world, and the game looks gorgeous. Like, you can tell that they sunk a lot of money into this game.
Speaking of, real quick, unrelated to the game we're talking about, but related to also what you're talking about. I played not a ton of Breath of the Wild when I had it, but I played it for a while, 10 hours maybe, which is nothing. There's that new game coming out, like
Breath of the Wild 2, right?
Icarus Rising or something like that.
Oh, I haven't seen
it looks just like Breath of the Wild.
Does it? Is that the Greek mythology one?
Yeah, it looks like it's a Ubisoft game, I believe, with people who made Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I think. It looks
Breath of the
like
Wild, man, that made
Breath
like buku bucks, dude.
Like, it looks good. The game looks fun. Like, it looks like cartoony in a good way. But I'm like, this looks like Breath of the Wild. Like, it looks exactly like it.
This is basically, I mean, I don't know how accurate the comparison is, but it basically looks like, from what I've seen, it's like an anime Breath of the Wild. This game. The only thing that it doesn't have, which I like, is that it doesn't have the weapon degradation system, which I like, because it feels dumb that, like, you get this super awesome sword, you swing it like 5 times, and then it breaks, never to be seen again.
Pain in the ass, man.
Yeah. Well, it's like, that's the whole thing, where it's like you get the Master Sword, the Master Shield, and it's like, why are these going to break? Like, I just spent all this time getting them.
Does the Master Sword break in Breath of the Wild?
I don't know. I feel like it does. I feel like all weapons have a degradation system, don't they?
I feel like if any weapon is supposed to break, it should be that one.
I feel like, if there was any weapon that didn't break, I feel like it would be the
I never got it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
haven't played it, but I feel like it had still.
I use like bullshit shields and shit and stupid ass spears that they broke. Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was the last thing that I really was like checking out. But that was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Highly recommend it. Jason. What you been checking out?
Pulling my list up right now. Got a couple things going. First thing I watched last week was a rewatch for me. Again, my girlfriend likes thriller stuff, and she wanted to again watch more stuff that was similar to Gone Girl. We watched
Mm.
Gone Girl. She wanted to watch something similar to that, so we watched Prisoners. She wanted to watch
Mm.
something similar to that, so we watched Seven. And she wanted to watch something similar to that. I was like, okay, well, it's not similar in the same vein, but it's similar in tone, and that's Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
So we watched
Oh,
Nightcrawler.
fantastic movie.
Great movie. Obviously, Prisoners had Jake Gyllenhaal. This has Jake Gyllenhaal in it. He's so good.
What a
Uh,
powerhouse, dude.
yeah, seriously,
Ugh.
man. So Nightcrawler, it's amazing. Um, and even though we both didn't love the guy's next movie,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, as the what was it? Velvet Buzzsaw? Yeah.
Buzzsaw was it? Yeah, Velvet Buzzsaw. I get this. I
I
get
don't
this.
remember liking it too much.
I understand what he was trying to commentate on, much
Yeah.
like what he was commentating on in Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm just so ignorant of art criticism that I just didn't get it enough.
I don't know. I feel like for me, it was like it got to the point where it was like more so than Nightcrawler. I feel like from what I remember from Buzzsaw, it was like it felt like he hit you over the head a little too much with
Yeah.
it. Where it was just like, I mean, the whole thing with Buzzsaw was just like the haughty, pompous nature of like the high art world. How everybody in that world's like kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Also, it was like I don't know. I think we talk about this when we talk about Buzzsaw, but um, I feel like it also goes to the thing where it's like, yeah, we really don't know too much about like the art world, but for both of
Yeah.
us, we're very familiar with like the TV news
Yeah.
business, and so I feel like that movie for us hit a little bit different.
But I think also there's it's like you don't have to know news or TV news
Yeah,
to understand that the character, Jake Gyllenhaal's character in that movie, him moving bodies is bad.
yeah.
Like anybody can understand that that's not moral.
Him
But
breaking into a family's home to film a murder scene
yeah,
is not
but
good.
but Velvet Buzzsaw, like no one is like, first of all, there's no main character.
Yeah,
There's just a bunch of characters, and nobody is like, there's no like, okay, someone's pushing the limit to succeed. See, they are kind of by going to that dead guy's house and using the his like murder portraits or whatever. But like even that limit, like I get the satire there that people will steal art to become famous or whatever. But I'm
Mhm.
like, yeah, but breaking into a dead guy's house to steal something like is very easy compared to like
Yeah,
moving a corpse.
yeah.
Like there's a level
Also,
there.
I don't know. I mean, for me, I mean, I get it. Like, it's bad, but also, like, the guy's dead. I mean, you probably
Yeah.
shouldn't have, like, passed it off as your own art, but, like, selling his art, I don't feel like
Yeah,
is,
like,
like,
hey,
that
this
big of a
guy's
deal.
dead. I have it. It's good.
Yeah.
Sell it. Whatever. Um, so Nightcrawler. Then I texted you earlier in the week that I was watching for the first time ever Law and Order: Criminal Intent.
Yes.
I watched the entire first season. I'm on the second season now. I am a huge TV procedural fan.
How long is the first season?
20 episodes, I think.
Okay, so it's, like, typical
Yeah,
cable
TV
news season.
channel.
Okay.
Uh, I never watched Criminal Intent really. I was always
Mhm.
SVU or what I have learned in my research of Law and
Mm.
Order. They call it the Mothership.
SVU?
No, they call the main Law and Order
Oh.
Mothership.
That's what they call it? They call it the
Yeah.
mothership?
Because they're the main
Interesting.
show, and
Yeah.
everything detaches from that, I guess, and they come back and they do.
I
like,
guess. I also feel like it's just, like, the weakest show out of
I
all of them,
I
but
don't agree with that sentiment at all.
I don't know.
I think Law and Order the original series one lasted longer than any other else. And
It did last.
SVU is going to overtake it.
Yeah. Oh,
But,
yeah,
like,
is the original Law and Order done?
It's done, yeah. It ended
Oh.
last year, I think.
Oh yeah, SVU is definitely gonna overtake it then.
Yeah, it's gonna overtake it, but like, it lasted a long fucking time. And it
Yeah.
a bit of a shit. And those,
Yeah.
I mean, the first 10 years of Law and Order Mothership, if that's what I call it, are prime. Like they're great. Anything past that, maybe. But at that point, SVU was out, and guess what? SVU baby.
SVU until Elliot Stabler leaves, and then
Yeah,
it kind of
and
like,
then- I would be rewatching SVU episodes, and I would see commercials for like on USA for Criminal Intent. And I'm just like, I don't want to watch these punk ass detectives. I want to watch fucking Elliot. do shit.
I don't know, dude. I always liked Criminal. I think we talked about this a little bit, but Criminal Intent was always my favorite for me. I liked it a lot.
I remember
I liked
watching
the
episodes of it and being like, "This is not Law and Order," because it's really not. Like it's a very
No, it's
different
not.
style
I mean, it's
show.
really not anything about like 'cause, I mean, typically Law and Order is the double aspect of the police investigating and the courtroom stuff. And Criminal Intent is really only about the
It's
detectives
law.
investigating. Yeah.
It's like it's like the cops stuff, and like no, it also like most episodes of Criminal Intent are
Mm.
purely based on Vincent D'Onofrio's character being Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
That's literally all it is.
Yeah.
Whereas the other shows have like detectives being detectives, where they're like, we're
Mm.
gonna pound this, not physically, we're gonna mentally interrogate this witness
Yeah.
over and over again, and we're gonna find a clue here and find a clue here and bring the other person back in.
Hmm.
Whereas with Criminal Intent, it's Vincent D'Onofrio being like, no, listen, I saw this one little thing, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
lie to you about it, and you're gonna go try to find it. Even though you're not gonna find it, I'm gonna come back and be like, "Oh, that never happened, but you just confessed, arrested." And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a little Criminal Mindsy, that's a
Hmm.
little NCISy, not very Law and Ordery.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it purely based the fact that it's Vincent D'Onofrio. Like,
Yeah.
if it was anybody else, I probably wouldn't care.
Yeah. The guy that takes over for Vincent D'Onofrio is not good, from
Well,
what I remember.
the next team that comes in has Chris Noth in it, and
Hmm.
he's from the original season. Like he's from the first show.
Mm.
Like I like him because he's one of the original cast members of Law and Order.
Can't remember him.
But he's a traditional detective. He's not like savanty.
Hmm.
Like they make hints throughout the show that Vincent D'Onofrio's character Goran, that he is like a savant.
Yeah.
Like he took a personality test. He's like a weirdo. Like he's assimilated, but he has a higher IQ, his degrees in psychology. He's in the
Hmm.
Army CID division. Like they explain that he's a good investigator.
Yeah.
He was never a patrol cop.
Hmm.
He got hired as a detective, so they explain that stuff. But it's just a very different kind of show compared to the other Law and Orders.
Oh, I forgot that Jeff Goldblum ends up on
Yeah,
Criminal Intent at one point.
yeah. And what I understand,
Because that's after Chris Noth leaves, I think. Is
yeah,
Goldblum
there's
takes
a
over.
point where apparently Vincent D'Onofrio was tired of the schedule. So what
Hmm.
they did was they did alternating episodes where
Mm.
they would have the original team of Goran and Eames, the girl, and they
Hmm.
would do an episode, and the next episode would be Chris Noth and his team, and
Hmm.
it would alternate back and forth to cut down on the overall season filming for
Interesting.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Okay.
Um, I'm not there yet. Season 2 is still just, you know, Eames and
Still just
Eames and Goran, but also like the whole team really doesn't matter except for Goran. Like
yeah.
Eames doesn't really add anything. She's good, but she doesn't really add anything. Their captain doesn't add anything.
No.
It's just Vincent
The DA
D'Onofrio.
is really just shows up to be like, you can't do this way, and then he leaves.
Mm-hmm. It's like last 10 minutes of the show he shows up. Whereas Law and Order, halfway through the show,
Yeah.
the lawyer comes in and is
Hmm.
like, "Okay, here's what we're gonna do."
Yeah.
Whereas Criminal
No,
Intent,
yeah, that normally that 20-25 minute point
you know,
switches into a courtroom drama.
Criminal Intent is like it really doesn't have any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's still a good show. But it's not Law and Order.
Yeah.
It really is like Sherlock Holmes or Criminal Minds. That's what it is really.
Yeah.
So I watched that. Still watching it, and
Hmm.
then I watched the new Netflix supernatural ghost movie or Halloween movie called Vampires versus the Bronx.
Oh.
And it's about these three kids and these three ethnic kids, if I'm calling that, it's like two like Dominican or Hispanic kids and like a young black guy, and
Hmm.
they're from the Bronx, and there's vampires who are all white who are coming in to
Gentrify the neighborhood.
gentrify the neighborhood because that's what vampires are. And even with that message being so blunty and so hit you over the head, the movie still was not good. It still wasn't a good movie, and it wasn't because the kids were bad actors.
Hmm.
They're great actors. They're actually everyone in the movie acted very well. It was just the pacing and the plot of the movie didn't work.
Yeah.
Like the performances were good. There were a lot of funny moments between the other like little tiny side characters in the movie that were really funny, and everything was well acted and it looked well. It was well shot. It's just the pacing of the script was very not managed well.
Right.
Where the last little bit of the vampire hunting was the last 20 minutes of the movie, and that's like not. I need more build up that way.
Yeah.
But I do know there's a really good scene in it. I will say in the beginning where they're figuring out that these white people who are moving in are vampires, and they're trying to figure out how to beat them. And one of the trio of the kids is like a I'm trying to like he's like into like alternative stuff for what his what they would say a neighborhood kid like him should like. He listens to Ghost. He reads like skateboards. Yeah. He wears a Ghost shirt. He like he's reading like a vampire book. So he's like he's the white black kid or whatever you would describe him as. You know what I mean?
A white black kid is about to save your butt because he knows about vampires.
So and they hang out at this bodega every day where they grew up. This guy, his name was Tony. He's one of the guys from. He's not an actor, but he's one of the guys from that YouTube show. Like they're like comedians, like podcasters called like Jesus and Mero. Jesus and Mero.
I don't know.
It's like a Dominican guy and a black dude. Like they're a podcast. They have a show. I think a show on Showtime. Like they're like pop culture, political like pundits or whatever. Like these like black dudes or something. I've never watched it before, but I know who they are from just seeing them on YouTube. And he's acting in it. He's actually pretty good at it. But he owns this bodega, and the main character is trying to save the bodega from being moved out because rent's going high because of the white vampires gentrifying the Bronx.
Right.
So he's putting up flyers to like have this block party to raise money. Well, they hang out there all day. That's where they grew up. So they're hanging out there all. It's like their home base, right? They learn there's vampires. So they come to the bodega, and they go, "Hey, Tony." They're like 12, 14. He's like 30, older guy. And then he's like, "Hey, Tony, I want to watch Blade." He goes, "You got $14.99?" And hard cuts to them on the couch, like watching Blade, and like it's like Blade killing vampires and stuff like that. It's a really funny scene, like where it's like a bunch of these kids are watching Blade, like, and then it cuts to like later in the movie. The one of the characters' moms are like, because they're Catholic, because they're Dominican or something, or whatever. I think it's Catholic because there's fathers in it. Right. And they're like, "You can't hang with Tony anymore. He let you guys watch Blade." And he's like, "No, we didn't watch Blade." And then she shows a Snapchat of like them like pretending to be Blade or whatever. So there's a couple of like really funny moments in it, but it's just the pacing of the movie was not like they're going for like Monster Squad or like like a Goonies like type of vibe, and they got the
Stranger Things.
They got the characterizations right, but they didn't get the pacing right, and that's the poor part of the movie. So, Vampires vs. the Bronx, watch that. Lastly, I watched the first two episodes of FX's new season of Fargo.
Fuck, I forgot that was out. I need to watch that.
Yeah, episode 3 comes out
Fargo
tonight.
is one of those shows you don't have to watch the previous seasons to watch.
Yeah, it's all individual seasons, and this is the first season where I believe it's not Fargo, like it's in Kansas City.
It's not even in Fargo.
Yeah, but one of the characters is clearly from Fargo.
I thought the whole point was that it was supposed to take place in Fargo.
I don't know, but like one of the characters is clearly from.
So when it's just like, fuck it.
Yeah. So, there's a nurse character who like is clearly like, her accent's clearly from Fargo.
Right.
But so the basic premise is that it's Kansas City, Missouri, and a bunch of different rival gangs have taken over the city and have worked it and run it. And the first episode, like the first 20 minutes, is all backstory. And they're explaining like the climate of Kansas City in 1950 and how it got there. And they're showing like Irish gang versus the Italian gang and versus this gang or whatever. And they keep doing this thing where the gangs will give away their youngest son to the other gang to keep, to raise, as a way of showing peace, like a peace treaty. Okay. And they keep showing different like times where that's happened. and how like they would double cross and like they would switch the kids and then the other kid would let in the gang and they would come and kill the gang and like all this kind of stuff. And eventually gets to like 1949 where it's Chris Rock and then the African American gang versus the Italians, which is like Jason Schwartzman, and they do the trading of the sons. So the Italians have Chris Rock's son, and Chris Rock has Jason Schwartzman's younger brother, and it's about their rivalry throughout throughout Kansas City, and it's really good so far. And Chris Rock's really good in it, and so is, I mean, Jason's good in everything he does.
Yeah,
he's really good at. He's like a overzealous, bumbling mafioso, whereas his like younger brother, who's from Italy, like just finished fighting World War II. He's like this big, crazy, like, I think people are calling him Vincent D'Onofrio, like the next Vincent D'Onofrio, this Italian guy. And I saw the article last week and I was like, okay, whatever. No, he is.
Okay.
This guy is completely Vincent D'Onofrio. Like, he's really good in it. And there's obviously a third, fourth storyline. There's like 5 stories always in Fargo. So there's the gang story. There's this gang story within the gang. Like, there's the black gang story. There's the Italian gang story. There's the nurse from Fargo, I'm pretty sure, her story. There's a young black girl whose dad's white and mom's black, and they have their own story. There's a lot of stuff going on, and obviously at some point they're gonna Fargo and like and Pulp Fiction it. But I'm really enjoying it so far. I didn't watch the last season, so I haven't watched it in a while. Okay. But this season was a must watch for me because just timing. Yeah. Like the way it looked, the years, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So Fargo season 4.
Yeah, I really want to check it out.
You should. I'm really liking it, man. Since it's so early on, you can catch up pretty fast. It's on Hulu.
Okay.
If you have Hulu, but that's what I have been. Oh, last thing. Sorry, I missed one. I was purposely saving it for last in case I had to talk a lot. Hold on.
I actually forgot something too.
Go for it. Go ahead.
I read and watched Burn the Witch, which is on
Crunchyroll. Yeah, I didn't watch it yet.
Beat 'em up, guys.
So good.
Go
Solid
for
show.
broke.
Is it supposed to be a series? Is it OVA? I don't know if I ever.
So it's a limited series. Because, I mean, there's going to be more to it because Tite Kubo has already said that he's making a second part to it. But the anime is basically, the 4 chapters of the manga that he released as the limited series, which is nice. I mean, it's a tight little story. I like it a lot. I mean, I don't know too much about Bleach, but I know this takes place in like the Bleach world because they're like a different branch of Soul Society. But I like it. I like it a lot. I think the animation for it looks great. I like the world building a lot. I like that because you don't really get this with the one shot, but like there's different branches of this because it's all based around. For people who don't know, this series is all based around like dragons existing, and they're not like dragons as we know them. They're more just like fantasy creatures. I mean, really, the only thing that gives them is that they all have like wings at some point. It's the only thing that really makes them like dragons. But there's like a bunch of different parts to it, and so there's basically like a secret society that like basically tries to like handle these dragons because they're responsible for a lot of the deaths that happen to humans.
Also, they're not dead, right? Like these.
No, they're not dead.
They're alive.
Yeah, they're alive. Like the way that it works is that they live life in the real world, and then they have like coins or something like that. Like the main girls are like one's a pop star and the other's a student, but they like have these coins or whatever, and they go to like a reverse London or like the backside of London or whatever, where like dragons are just everywhere. But they basically work for like a group in this world that like basically they're called the Pipers. They basically like harvest. And like they're basically like the shepherds of dragons,
right?
But their group's called the Pipers, and so all these characters can use magic, and they all have different ways to use it, which is something you kind of really get with the limited series, because they're the Pipers. So the way that they use magic, they carry like pipes around on them, and so one of the main girls is like if she's using magic spell, she like blows into her pipe, And that kind of like makes the magic go off. So I like that aspect to it. There's a different character that shows up in the limited series that works for a group called the Inks. And so his thing is that he has like spray cans, like spray paint basically, and he like spray paints, and that's how he like uses his magic. So I like that.
So it's Sai.
Yeah, basically.
From Naruto.
I mean, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
In that aspect, yeah, because he's like drawing stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a lot of tagging and like the way that his magic looks. There's like one particular spell that basically just looks like he like drips street art on top of this dragon. So it looks really, really cool.
It's a prequel, right? Like, what year is this? Do they not say what year?
I looked this up, actually. I was doing a bit of research on the Bleach wiki. This takes place after Bleach.
Okay.
It takes place 2 years after the final chapter of Bleach, I guess. So it's in the future of that series.
And
I don't know exactly.
They haven't shown a Shinigami at all, right?
No, that's the weird thing, is that it takes place in like Soul Society West Branch in like London, basically. But they haven't hinted at like Shinigami World or like Hollows or anything like that.
Because if they're not Shinigami, they're called Pipers, then they're not Shinigami.
No, well they're not. And
they're not dead.
They're not all called Pipers.
Okay.
Their specific group is Pipers, but there's a bunch of different groups. Like there's the Inks group, there's a Sabers group, which is like the security group.
Right.
It usually deals with like dark dragons and stuff like that.
Could you imagine, dude? Like if here's what he's gonna do. I'm gonna call it.
Okay.
Those Shinigami have been there the whole time. They're like he's gonna do a chapter, like when he comes back, of like the main girl, and she's fighting for something, and the background is gonna show the original panel, and there's nothing in the background, and then he's gonna draw the next panel, same artwork, and then behind her is gonna be a Shinigami because they're visible because they're dead. Right? Because Shinigami are dead.
Interesting.
So they're gonna be like they've been there the whole time, but since they're dead, you couldn't see them.
That's interesting. I mean, I don't really know. I don't know. I'd be interested to see that. He hasn't really touched on that aspect.
Because there's no way there's no way to mend them if they're not dead.
Yeah.
Or can't see the dead.
Yeah, that's the weird part. I just don't know, because I mean that's the thing, is that he's made the connection that it takes place in the same world as Bleach, but he really hasn't made any overt. He hasn't really tried any overt way to connect it, besides the fact that, like, oh yeah, this is the West Branch of Soul Society. That's like the only.
Do they say these dragon people, are they dead?
No, they're not dead. They're alive.
They're just monsters.
Oh, the dragons are just dragons. They're not like people. They're
just monsters.
They're like straight up just like mythical creatures. Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's very strange. I don't understand really the connection.
Honestly, you should have just did its own thing.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds cool enough to do by its own thing, you know?
I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, the concept is cool enough, and I'm liking where it's going enough that, like, I really don't need an overt connection to Bleach, other than the fact that, like, oh yeah, this takes place in the same world. I really don't know if I need like an overt like
problem I have with that
Ichigo showing up or something like that.
The problem I have with it is that you did say it's in the same world, so now I need to know the connection.
Yeah. Because
you told me. Like, if it was not in the same world at all, just a whole new story.
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm happy.
But honestly, think it would have been better if it was if he hadn't made the connection, because it's just like it's still a good story on its own.
If you're gonna tell me that they work for the Soul Society, now I have to know, like, how does that work?
Yeah.
Because the Soul Society is ran by ghosts.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole point. They're called Soul Society.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, it's called Wingbind. That's the unofficial, or that's the official name of the Soul Society branch. Is called Wingbind. They've got their own higher ups, like the Shinigami did. Like they've got, but it's not just like.
They got
it's
captains?
Weird because it's not just like, huh?
They got captains?
They're kind of captains, but they're more just like, I mean, it's not captains in the sense that like they're all just like groups of, Wingbind employees that like all basically do the same thing, where like they fight, dragons. He's got the categories to it where they all have their own separate thing, because you've got the Sabers, you've got Pipers, you've got like one of the groups is like an invocation group, so you've got the Inks too, which is like that type of thing. You've got a couple of different groups like that, so they're all like, it's not from what I understand of Bleach, it's not like the Shinigami where they're all just Soul Reapers. They, at least in here, they all have different niches to fill in this Wingbind.
So even then, Soul Society has different teams that do different
Okay.
things. Like,
Okay.
so like I think the majority of them are just Soul Reapers.
Right.
But then there's also like the technology investigation division. There's
Hmm.
like the history division. So the medical unit. So like
Okay.
it sounds like that where they have like the
Maybe.
specializations.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like I read the first little bit of it like when it
Hmm.
came out of whenever we talked about it a few months ago.
Yeah.
And I love Bleach and I love the art, so I'm going to read it. I'm going to watch it for sure.
Yeah.
It's just that the moment you tell me Soul
Yeah.
Society, now I have to know how are you going to show, or you don't even have to show it to me. But if you don't show it to me, I'm going to keep asking
Yeah.
because you made the connection for me. You know,
I would hope he tries to explain the connection in the next limited. I'm assuming what he's going to keep doing, he's just going to do like a series of arcs and like short
or
chapter verse.
even if
But
he's do it like a throwaway line where he's like the
yeah.
main girl's like sitting there and they have a mission or something. However, those jobs are given to them, and then
Hmm.
someone's like, "Well, the Shinigami couldn't do it, so we're taking care of it." I'd be like, "Ah, okay." So you're
Yeah.
telling me that there's another type of unit. Like you're giving
Yeah.
me, you're not saying explicitly what it is, but you're
Hmm.
telling me that they know that it exists.
I would assume that what his he hasn't overtly said this, but I would assume the inference is the fact that like Shinigami really deal with like dead people in halls and stuff like that, and this is more like they deal with dragons,
Like, but
and so that would be like the distinction that they make.
they would have to have Shinigami there because hollows exist everywhere, right?
Yeah,
Not just Japan.
yeah.
So like
It's weird though, because then they kind of they make it seem like in this show that it's like dragons really only exist
in
in
England,
London.
yeah,
Yeah, only
exactly.
in London and like reverse London, and like that's the only place that dragons
But
exist.
like you would really expect that like Europe to have the most ghosts because it's Catholic,
Yeah,
or it's Protestant Catholic. Like why wouldn't
right.
Rome have like the most purgatory ghosts?
Yeah.
Wouldn't those be the prime examples of ghosts that become hollow?
Hmm.
Like that's like so like he's gonna have to break that down for me at some point because I'm gonna keep asking myself, and like it
Yeah.
won't make me not like the story,
Hmm.
but it will definitely be like, okay,
It's
Tite,
still that nagging thing.
come
Yeah.
on, Kubo, let me know.
Yeah.
You know, because I just want to know because I'm a huge fan of Bleach.
Yeah.
But like I want like because each goes not Soul Reaper anymore. Like right, his powers are gone.
That beats me, man.
No, like that's what it is. Like
Oh,
he
he
like
is? Okay.
I'm pretty sure his powers are gone. I believe.
I don't
But
know. I watched Super Eye Patch Wolf's video on it, and it made it seem like his powers are still there. I don't know. I'm
but
very confused.
also, well, he becomes a dad. Him and
Yeah.
Orihime get whatever. But also he's lost his powers before. So like his powers have been gone
That was the
before.
thing that
So
confused me, because yeah, I was watching Super Eye Patch Wolf's video. He basically goes over the main line of Bleach, and I was like, oh, he like lost his soul powers, and then he had like some weird
yeah.
swastika
Uh-huh.
boomerang that he like used, and then he got his soul powers
Yeah,
back.
he got it from Yahweh
Yeah, I
or
don't know.
whatever.
I'm very
Those
confused.
are his Quincy powers.
Right, because his mom
Because
becomes a
mom.
Quincy in like the very last arc of the series or something like that.
Get this, dude. This is a question that he never answered, and
Hmm.
people ask it on Google and like Reddit all the time, and no one can give a straight answer. So Ichigo's dad was dead, right?
His dad's
He
a Soul Reaper,
was
right?
a Soul Reaper, right?
Yeah.
And he gave it up to just become alive, to marry
He
his
gave it
mom,
up to Mary's mom, right?
right? But no one recognized his dad at all. When Shinigami come,
Right.
no one was like, "Hey,
Nobody is
Ishin,
like, hey, it's you.
hey, it's you. I've been alive for 1,000 years. Who? How you been?" No one recognized him.
Yeah.
No one recognized his last name that Ichigo took.
Yeah, that's very
But
strange.
the other question is like this, right? So you're dead when you die and become a Shinigami, right?
Right.
But there are certain people who are just born in Soul Society, so you're
Are
never
there?
alive. How does that work?
There are people that are just born in Soul
Like
Society?
Rukia, I believe Rukia and her brother, her adopted brother, are like
Oh
they're
yeah,
never
that's true.
alive.
Cause yeah, the red-haired guy, yeah, they're like kids in like Soul
Yeah,
Society.
you just dead. You're born dead. Like how does that work?
I know, that's very confusing.
Like now, unless you want to say like maybe this is me looking at through Western eyes because of the way we view afterlife.
Hmm.
Maybe Soul Society is just a different world. Like it has to be a parallel world, like a dimension.
Right.
not just, but dead people still go there. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's very confusing.
Like, how can you go?
I feel like Bleach is like one of those series, yeah, like Naruto, where it's like you think about it too much and like your brain starts to hurt.
I have questions though.
Yeah.
I have questions. Um, so yeah, I do want to check that out though. So I'm probably gonna watch that at some point. The last thing I did, I
Yes.
want to say, is that the latest installment
Oh yeah.
of
Beat 'em up, guys.
the
Go for
Dresden
broke.
Files
Yes.
it came out on Tuesday. Battleground, Jim Butcher.
Mhm.
I think this is book 17. A few months ago, I had peace talks. This is
Yeah.
the war after the peace talks. This
So I'm
book
guessing peace talks didn't work out.
didn't work out. If you didn't know that, because from the title they released called Battleground. This book is all action. It is
Okay.
all action. There's plot development and there's story progression. It is 85% action and war
Okay.
amongst like wizards going all out.
All right.
It is for
Is it a
someone
civil
like me.
war? Is it a wizard civil war?
No.
Ah.
They're fighting a titan.
Like Greek god Titan?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What, like Kronos?
No, not Kronos.
Oh, okay.
They're fighting Ethnu.
I don't know that
It's
Titan.
like a daughter of Kronos or someone like that.
I don't know the Titans off the top. Other than Kronos, I don't know the Titans.
So there's a
off the top
giant
of
ass
my head.
titan that's storming through Chicago, and everybody can see it.
So
Yeah, like Harry says in the beginning. I'm not gonna spoil it all for you because obviously I want you to get there at some point in your life.
yeah.
But Harry says that this is gonna change everything.
Still
Like,
got it
there's-
right here.
There's
Still got
nothing
it
like
right here.
after this night's over. Like there's nothing we can do to hold this back. Like the people are gonna know that there's something going on,
Okay.
right? If a fucking giant titan laser beaming through buildings
Yeah.
doesn't show you, then yeah, you're
Titan
done.
has laser beams?
It has a Greek weapon or something called the Eye of something, and it, like uses
It has,
fear,
he has beam
and
powers.
it beams. She's destroying like skyscrapers.
Oh my god. All right.
Also,
Well,
they summon what are they called? Jotun. The Viking giant frost giants, the bad guys.
the frost giants?
They summon
Nice.
them to attack the. Okay, so. God, I'm trying not to.
I didn't realize he was like.
He-
Maybe I just haven't got to this part yet, but I didn't realize so many mythologies were
Yeah.
like mixed
Yes. So
Okay.
when you get farther into the lore,
in. Mhm.
Butcher explains that every deity has probably existed in some sense.
So like Greek gods and Norse gods and like
Yes.
Indian gods, they've all existed.
They probably existed at some point, and he
Okay.
never explains how they were existed. He has Harry talks about how
A lot of fantasy series have done that before. I don't know if you ever read it, but there was like the comic series God is Dead is like the same thing, where it's like all
Okay.
gods exist and they've all existed at the same time.
well
somehow.
they explain like he doesn't really explain exactly like did God make them or did God come after. He never really answers that question. He
Mm.
kind of like explains that like through Harry's lens like various times people are prayed to and like they kind of like in like American Gods like that kind of thing. He never gives you an exact answer like okay well because I want to know like did God make because to me like God and Satan would be the strongest in my
Right.
viewpoint because that's the whatever but like
Yeah.
I looks almost as though like to me from what I'm reading it as to me in my mind that's what it is. He's never saying that verbatim. He's never really said that, but in my mind, like God and devil are still the strongest beings.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way that he depicts angels in the show are like they're brutal. Like he makes them like they're tough.
Well, it's like even the one I'm reading right now is all about like demons from hell, and it's like
Right.
yeah, they're like
They're tough.
secret
you know.
society of demons somehow. I still
And, like,
haven't understood that part.
They,
yet, but-
they have wizards and other things that fight the demons on the same level. So
Mhm.
that they're not explaining like they're invincible.
right.
But the way that I read it, the lens that I read it, Butcher right to me,
Mhm.
like that the Christian God is like very powerful, like probably the most powerful being on the planet is what the way that I read it. Because everyone,
Okay.
when other people talk about it, like the other deities talk about it, like they're like, okay, well, that guy. That kind of like they're like
That homie.
like so. I don't want to spoil too much for you. 'Cause I can't. I don't want to, but I want to talk about this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, Vikings are real, right? And
Okay.
so are the Asgardians.
Okay.
And they're good guys. Good guys.
So Thor exists.
You don't see him, but yes.
Okay.
But one of the main characters eventually becomes Odin.
Odin's a main character. All right.
He's also a mercenary. He runs a mercenary group.
Okay.
So he sends his guys.
So he's
to
like
fight.
doing business on Earth.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, the Wild
Yeah.
Hunt is real.
Hell yeah.
So the guy from Witcher.
That whole band of group from
The
the
skull
Witcher
guy.
group.
But I'm not trying to spoil too much. But like to the point, like they fight Frost Giant, like Jotun.
Skull
whatever
Knight
they're called.
exists.
They fight and then Guts comes in and he fights the God Hand.
And then Griffith descends
yeah.
from the heavens.
But it's definitely a world changing book.
Okay.
And I think I like it so much because it had 16 books or 15 books or whatever it was to build up to this book. And there are some pivotal story elements that can't not be addressed following this book because of shit happens where like directly affect Harry. Like
Okay.
it I told you before, like where I'm at, like Harry's life blows.
Yeah.
Like he's so powerful, but his life just sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like Jim Butcher. So I go on Reddit after I finish it, right? Because Dresden Files Reddit's very active, and
Yeah.
there's the Battlegrounds mega thread,
Mm-hmm.
like 3,000 comments or some shit, right? Because people are talking about it. They're
Right.
spoilers. And the comment that I saw stuck with me was, so Harry's pretty much reset now, right? And what they're saying is like he's still as powerful as he is, but it's almost as though Butcher is like, okay, I'm gonna finish beating him down.
Mm-hmm.
We're now bringing him back up.
Okay.
And I want to tell you why I'm trying to say that, but I don't want to tell you that.
Okay.
But there's things that happen in the story that just make it pretty much from like book like 9, 10, it's just downhill for Harry.
Okay.
And it's tough.
I feel like it's already downhill. I mean, this Death Mask is a bit of a downer because that's when
he definitely listen, man. He pretty much once book 3 starts, where he starts building up the super overall story, like he's building Harry up a little bit to get him more powerful, but it's constantly edging at his humanity.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, Death Mask I already feel like is a downer because this is the one where Susan comes back and she's basically like, I can't ever see you. And I was like, come on, man.
Hey,
don't treat the boy like that.
It gets worse. I'm telling you, it gets worse.
Harry's my boy, man. I hate to see my characters. I hate to see I mean, I get it story-wise because it'd be pretty boring if his life was all like sunshine and rainbows.
Exactly.
But it's also at that point where it's just like, come on, man, don't do that to the boy.
Yeah, it gets worse.
All right.
It gets worse, and then
just gotta look for the silver lining.
Well, that's where I'm at now. Where I think the next book, it's called Mirror Mirror, and he's talked about it for years, about alternate reality, from what I understand.
I got that taste of that in, what was it? I think it was in the 3rd book, or maybe it was the 4th book, where he basically talks to his subconscious, which was nice. He has that like self-image of himself as like the total badass.
Well, so far, things you learn that are answered in the beginning of the book. You learn about his mom. His dad's the only
in Battleground.
Just in general, like up until where I'm at, you learn more about his mom. But his dad is still like nobody.
His dad's just a regular old magician.
He very makes it clear that like yeah, my dad's just a guy.
Okay.
He was a good guy. He was a good dad until he died. He was a guy.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't like make it like anything else. I don't think he ever will. Like, if they randomly pull a Bleach and be like, well, Harry's dad was actually a dragon hunter, I'd be like,
it wouldn't make a lot of sense.
I'd be like, okay. I mean, it would be cool, but at a certain point, you're like, okay. Make him a regular guy's fine.
Yeah.
But Battleground, like I said, full action. There's a couple character things that happen. A lot of dead. A lot of dead shit.
Damn.
New villains introduced.
Okay.
New. At this point, it's like I said before, the Harry in Death Masks compared to the Harry now is like fucking. It's not even close, bro.
Okay.
This dude is a fucking. And he's still not the strongest. Like he's not the strongest guy.
Okay.
Like there are other wizards.
I know, man. I'm sorry. I gotta catch
No,
up.
it's not your fault. There are other wizards who are like massively more powerful than him, and Harry's really strong now. You know.
Okay.
But it's a war across Chicago where everyone's having to fight, and like everyone's learning stuff, and if you get there, and I hope you do, Zach, you're gonna close the book, and you're gonna get pissed.
Damn. All right.
You're gonna get pissed.
May get pissed at Battlegrounds?
Not at like the story, but you're gonna like be like pissed because of something that's gonna happen in it.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to like egg you on to like whatever, but like
yeah,
there's so many times in this series where like you've closed the book and you're like, fuck you, dude. Like fuck you, man. Like this is not the number one, but it's like number two. There's definitely there's a worse thing that happens earlier, like in other earlier books that make you go, fuck you, bro. So I liked it a lot. Right. I'm looking forward to the next book.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
We can move in to our topic of the show.
Yes.
We got one!
Zach, what's our topic, bro?
Topic this week. I don't know which one we want to start with, but our topic is basically past and recent Halloween costumes that we've had and dream costumes for the future.
Yeah.
I don't know which one we want to start with.
Let's do things we've done.
Okay. Let's start off with the fact that I think my mom hated me as a kid.
Okay, why?
She dressed me up as a clown, and I hate clowns.
Oh.
Hate them. And I still see that picture of me dressed up as a clown, and I get mad.
What year? How old were you?
Why did you do this to me? I think I was like, I want to say like kindergarten, first grade.
Okay.
It was like,
but was the fear there yet? No.
It might not have been, but it was very soon after.
That's why you like clowns. Maybe that's why.
No, I mean, I know the specific reason that I don't like clowns, which is because of it. It's the only reason. Yeah, Tim Curry.
Why?
I saw that one screenshot of him with like the teeth, and that shit is like glazed into my memory. He's got like the dagger teeth and shit like that.
Why?
That's what did it. That's did it for me. I don't know why.
Oh my gosh.
I can't stand it, dude. I hate the way he looks. He looks terrifying to me.
It doesn't.
It does to me.
I get it. All right. So let's do this. Let's just name off a couple of costumes and like kind of like where you're at in your life, age range of when you did it, maybe how you felt about it.
Okay.
So take it away, dude.
Okay. So the first couple ones, the ones that stick out in my memory. I was able to dress as Agumon one year. That was sick.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. It was like the Walmart brand whatever costume, but I think it was like, I want to say it was like first or second grade. It was around the time of like the Digimon show airing, because I was able to dress as Agumon and my brother dressed as Gabumon. That was sick. I loved that. That costume was pretty rad. Let's see, a couple of other ones that I did. I realized a lot that it was like, especially with like elementary stuff, that was like, I don't know if it was like I just didn't care about Halloween as much back then. It might have been because of that. Like I liked Halloween as a time, but like I didn't have as much like oomph in like the costumes I want to had besides the Agumon one. But it was like a lot of stuff was like Wolfman, zombie.
Yeah.
Like I know his one is like a vampire one year.
Okay.
My mom probably influenced that because she loves vampires. That's like her stink. She doesn't really like horror movies, but like it's like any sort of vampire movie, like she's there for it. So that might have been influenced by that a little bit, just because she loves vampires so much. So I watched a lot of vampire movies and stuff growing up.
Did your brothers reuse your costumes, or they always get new ones?
No, we would always have different ones. I know them a lot. Like my brother was like a ninja one year, and I was like, oh, that's pretty classic. Pretty classic that he went as a ninja. I don't remember a lot of the ones that like my other brother went as. I know I went as James Bond one year. I was sick
Okay.
as hell. I had a watch that didn't fit because it was my dad's. It was sick. I loved it.
You just wore like a kid's suit or something?
I just wore like a nice suit. Had my hair slicked back, all that good stuff. I think I had like a pen in my pocket and I pretended like it had like the dart thing in it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna click it and it's gonna like dart's gonna come out and like trank a guy. But yeah, because I think that was around the period that I was like reading Young James Bond, the Young James Bond books. So I think it was like that in like the age of like Spy Kids where I could like twist my watch and it'd be like some sort of gadget. Yeah. So those are the big ones that I remember.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I never went as a monster.
You never went as a monster?
No, the big ones I remember were, I'll do 2 back to back because on my list it's called Ninja Generic.
Okay.
So like, hey, go to the store. I remember one year it was White Ninja.
Yeah.
The next year was Black Ninja.
Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, baby.
Ninja Generic.
Yeah.
Right? So come with good old plastic, all black or all gray.
The plastic sword, the plastic shuriken.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another year was Ninja Power Rangers.
Oh, okay.
Upgrading a little bit. Got the fucking like bedazzled things.
Yeah, there you go.
Like 8 or 9 with that, or maybe 7.
Okay.
The big ones that I would reuse a ton. I mean, I would wear these like every year.
Yeah.
Were Obi-Wan Kenobi Jedi robes.
Yeah.
I think from like maybe like it must have been like 6, 7, 8. I would wear it.
Yeah.
And then I would get a new costume every year, but I would still like alternate. Like I'll just wear it. So Jedi robes were a big deal. I was a huge Star Wars nerd. No lightsaber though. I had one, but it was like like the shitty like little prop like Halloween prop ones. This is before they had the cool collapsible ones.
Yeah, I think I had a one like that too because I know one year I went as Darth Vader and I had like the crappy like Halloween saber for it.
Like it wouldn't collapse. It was like just okay, it's this big, it's like garbage. But the next one, these next 2 costumes were the other ones in my memory that were like big. Like I like kept these like in pristine condition.
Ooh.
I made sure that the foam parts on the chest were 10 out of 10. First one, Batman Forever, Batman.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Hell yeah.
Cape that was not that long. Mask that was right here.
Yeah.
Good old plastic with the string. Foam pecs, foam abs.
Gotta have the foam pecs.
Foam, the things, right?
Yeah, his little gauntlets. Yeah.
And I got my sneakers underneath the fucking foam boots. And I was Batman Forever, and I loved it. Yeah. And then the year after that, I was Batman and Robin.
Ooh,
so
Robin.
The red foam pecs,
okay.
The gold belt, the little fucking right there.
Little domino mask. Wow, got it.
Those 2 costumes, man. I remember I had pictures of those when I was a kid, and I loved wearing those costumes. Yeah. And like looking back at them, I'm like, you're a dumb kid. Those look like shit. Those look like shit, really.
But when you were a kid, you were fucking Batman, baby.
Yeah, but now you can buy them. You can buy like such a better suit for kids now.
Yeah, you can buy a pretty good Batman suit.
Like kids have such better options now, man. Like I remember being a kid, like okay, go to Target, go to Walmart, go to fucking. We never went to a spirit store. We never went to a Halloween store. You go to the fucking Air Force Base. Okay, here are your options. You have a wall of 10 options. Pick one. You want to be a ninja, a soldier, Batman, Power Ranger, generic. What do you want to do? Yeah. Okay, I'll be that one. I'll be that Batman. Yeah. But now you can like buy a kid's costume with like fucking like die cast. Like Batman with die cast, fucking armor, full cowl.
Yeah, kids got it good these days, man.
So those were the big ones I did as a kid, and I really loved them. But I pretty much, once I turned 10 or like 9, I stopped dressing up. I never really did it ever again.
I think it was like 12 or 13 for me, because I would still go out with my brothers and stuff like that. But I think it was like 12 or 13 for me where I stopped dressing up for a while. Until I think college for Halloween parties is when I started dressing up again.
What you do in college?
College, I did. College was. I feel like the first year was
If you
kind
say
of
Bob
generic.
Ross, I'm gonna fucking slap you.
No. I did recently last year for Halloween for a work party. I did Brad Pitt from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's cool. He's the only character that matters in that movie.
Right.
And then because I still have the shirt for it, the champion shirt, which I think is a really nice shirt. But that was a super easy one. I went as Wilfred one year. I liked Wilfred. Plus, it's easy. You just dress up as like a dog costume, get some whiskers on your face.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then I just walked around with sunglasses because I felt like it. What were the other ones? I'm trying to remember. It must not have been that good because I can't remember.
Can't remember what it was. Yeah, I mean, I didn't go to college like that, so I never dressed up. You know, after that, like after 10, I just never did.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I really can't. They must not have been that good because I really can't remember what the costumes were.
Well, that's perfect then because you can tell me now what you want to do. What would you do if you were cosplaying or like something like that? Because Halloween is another time for people to cosplay now.
Yes. So I did a little like top 5 list.
Sure.
I don't have them in like in any particular order.
Sure.
But if I was gonna do a costume right now,
yeah,
gotta be Indiana Jones.
Really?
Love Indiana Jones. Even
so
now.
You're talking like what's this hat called? That's not a fedora, right? It's like too big to be a fedora.
I don't know what you would call it. Yeah, because it's not like
Western hat?
It's not a fedora.
Just Western cap.
Yeah, because it's not really a cowboy.
It's not a cowboy hat. It's like a.
Yeah, I don't know what you would call it.
So you're talking like the hat, the khaki shirt, the leather jacket.
Hat, khaki shirt, the jacket. You gotta have the whip.
The whip. You're talking like the chukka boots, like the half ankle boots.
Yeah, definitely.
Or does he have? He wears those, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he wears those.
Hold on.
I actually don't. I don't think I've ever paid attention to his shoe choice before.
Are his boots on here at all?
No.
I'm trying to find his boots on here. No, his boots aren't on here. I bought a bunch of VHS copies of it. I can't see his boots.
Yeah.
Or are you talking about like suit indie?
No, definitely adventure indie.
Okay.
You know, leather jacket,
Pistol.
khaki shirt, khaki pants.
Does he have a holster?
He had a holster.
He has a holster right here.
Yeah.
So gun holster.
Yeah, he's got his holster. You gotta have the knapsack, the throw over shoulder knapsack for all your clues, and adventuring goodness. What's your number one? That's pretty. It's not my number one.
That's pretty easy.
It's not my number one. They're not really in any particular order.
That's a doable costume though.
The what?
It's a doable costume.
It's a doable costume.
That's like super doable.
It's something I've always wanted to dress up as. I've never just like taken the time to do it though.
Oh, I get that.
So what about you? What's one of yours?
One of my ones that I've always wanted to do is a 1-to-1.
Okay.
Marty.
Oh, okay.
But nice. I can't find Nike Bruins anymore. The shoes he wears. The puffer, like the things that he wears, are so easy, or would be easy to find. The puffer jacket would be, a puffer vest would be easy to find. The jeans shirt, everything would be fairly easy to find, and people do it all the time when they do it wrong. I get pissed off when I see it.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't done it, because the shoes I want to be perfect. And Nikes are too small for my feet, so it's like almost like, okay, it's never gonna get done. But I always want to do a Marty really, really bad, or even like a 1950s Doc, or like a 1985 Doc. But I couldn't do the hair. That's the problem. I would want to have the crazy ass hair.
Yeah.
But 1-to-1 Marty, 1985 Marty, or even Cowboy Marty would be really fun.
Oh, dude, Cowboy Marty from Back to the Future 3, baby.
That'd be really fun to do Cowboy.
It's not
Marty.
not a bad choice at all. I like that.
But the one that I've been researching a lot actually is Ghostbusters, man.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I really wanted to. They sell a real Ghostbusters Egon jumpsuit, which is like because they're different colors than the movies.
Interesting.
And it looks great, but I don't think they have my size, so I'm not gonna do it. And there's a website called Real or GBFans.com, like community-oriented website where they tell you how to make a proton pack. They tell you what the items to buy, and they sell the items on their website, and they sell like hey, here's the perfect jumpsuits for movie 1, movie 2. Here's the patches you can buy, and they have it all on one website. And my goal was to be that guy when Afterlife comes out, which was I want to
Okay.
go to the theater, and no proton pack, but I want to go to the theater
Right.
in full like
Yeah.
outfit, like in full jumpsuit. Um,
Spangler, baby.
but the jumpsuits are like $80 because they're like real jumpsuits.
That's a little. Yeah, that's a little
And
expensive.
I would absolutely would do it, but like, and it would look good.
Mm-hmm.
But I have my work boots are boots, so it's like not like I need to buy boots, but I'm not good at like sewing and shit.
Yeah, I get
But
that.
I think, by the way, are we gonna see Afterlife together, or you think you think there's no chance?
I think we could. I think there's a possibility. As long as we plan it out, I'm down to
Because it's
do it.
in 3 months, 4 months.
Is it 3 months?
So March 5th, right?
It's March, right? So that's like it's probably like 4 months,
Okay.
4 or 5 months.
But
I
next
think.
month is Cyberpunk.
That's correct.
Yes. Okay. What other costumes, dude, have you thought about? Lay it on me.
So there's a couple that I've had. So the other one that I really want to do I want to do K from Blade Runner 2049.
I got excited for a second and thought you wanted to do K for Men in Black.
I would also do K for Men in Black, but I feel like Men in Black's like entirely doable because it's really just a regular
sunglasses,
black suit with sunglasses.
You would really have to have the gun.
Yeah, I mean the gun would definitely be the bigger. I mean, unless you had. I mean, you could also have the memory eraser.
What's it called?
But you'd also have to constantly. I don't remember what it's called.
Neuralizer.
Neuralizer, yeah, that sounds right.
Maybe.
Neuralizer.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you'd have to constantly have the neuralizer out. But
you can buy that,
if you
though.
didn't have a gun,
They
could.
made that. I remember as a kid they made a.
Didn't they have like a McDonald's version of it?
I think they made a prop of that or something. I remember seeing that.
I know it's a toy for sure.
They have to have a replica of that. 'Cause that's an awesome prop.
Yeah. But yeah, I would also do K from Blade Runner 2049. The only reason I put this on there, I mean, he looks great, but also, I want the gun.
Yeah.
I
But
want
you
the
can
gun
make.
so. You could. I've seen. Yeah, Adam Savage
Mm-hmm.
made it.
And you can buy those kits too.
The Blade Runner 2049.
A lot of guys make those DIY kits of like here's all the props, you can paint it yourself and put it together.
Yeah.
I see a neuralizer here for $40, a little toy.
Well, that's not too bad.
I want like a stainless steel one though, man.
Yeah.
And they sell a little cricket. I see it on eBay.
Oh. Okay.
Men in Black, neuralizer, and cricket gun set, replica prop with sound, $64. Listen.
That's not too bad.
Absolutely would do it. Absolutely would do it.
I would do that.
That'd be cool. You said K.
Yeah.
Why not? You don't want to do this with Deckard?
No, I mean, I think I always like K more. I like Ryan Gosling more. Plus, I think his costume's better than Deckard's. I like his jacket more.
What about 2049 Deckard? Just do that costume.
Yeah, I'll just run around in a gray t-shirt.
Gray t-shirt. And be like
Be
this.
like Harrison Ford and be like, they only paid me to show up in a t-shirt.
Yeah. So another one of mine. That's a cool costume though.
Yeah.
He looks cool. I don't know if yeah. That's cool. The gun's cool. That'd be hard though. You would have to have the gun.
Yeah, you'd have to have the gun.
Have to have the gun. This is something. This next one of mine is something that would never ever happen.
Okay.
Never ever happen.
Okay.
But Mega Man X.
Oh shit, dude. Oh yeah.
I think that would look so. I've seen costumes and it looks
Not
so
Zero?
rad. I'm an X guy.
Okay.
I don't like Zero that much. I like Zero at Marvel vs. Capcom.
I was going to say you want to destroy people in Marvel's Capcom.
Yeah. I play Zero, but I don't like him in the game. I like X more.
Okay.
And I've seen some really great cosplays of that character, but I don't have the ability to make that.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay for it, and also I think it would look dumb on me. But even without that being said, I think the costume would be really sick.
Yeah.
So Mega Man X would be a really rad.
That would be
one.
a sick costume.
That'd be rad. I would want to have like a prop, like a attachment for the Buster, like a firing, like a toy effect, like for a figure.
Yeah.
Like I want to have like a fucking like the burst of energy or something. That'd be kind of sick.
Yeah.
So that'd
be pretty dope.
That's another one of mine.
Okay. Trunks.
Like Future Trunks.
Future Trunks for
or
sure.
Baby Trunks.
No, Future Trunks
With
for sure.
With the little fucking head thing and the little fucking.
Oh my god.
The little hat.
No.
Future
Fuck that
Trunks.
baby
So you talking? These are
I'm
all pretty.
talking
These are all pretty easy,
Z-Sword,
dude.
Future Trunks.
These are pretty
Not
easy.
Dragon Ball Super Trunks. I'm talking about Dragon
These
Ball
are
Z.
easy.
The sword, man.
That you could do that. You can just put a sword there. It'll fit.
No, I want the Z sword.
Okay,
if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right.
Okay, you get a regular sword. It sounds like it's like a fucking with the fucking what's it called, cross guard thingy.
Yeah.
The hardest part is like the sword and the boots.
Yeah.
Because the boots are very Dragon Ball boots.
The boots would be the hardest part. I don't even know what I tried to say. I had a stroke there for half a second.
No, because like the jackets, okay, purple jacket, the Capsule Corp symbol.
I'd have to get the Capsule Corp patch.
Black tank top.
Yeah.
Pecs popping out.
Got to.
Oh, the hair too.
The hair would be hard.
Yeah, hair would be hard.
Because that's not just any wig.
Because like hair looks, the hair is like, I've seen Trunks cosplays in person, and like the hair like makes. The hair is always the hardest part, man. It makes or breaks it, for sure.
Yeah.
That'd be.
That's a part with all. That's a problem with all Dragon Ball cosplays. It's the hair always makes or breaks it.
It's just impossible.
Yeah.
It really is.
Unless you're freaking Master Roshi and you just want to be bald.
Krillin.
Or you're Krillin.
Or Tien.
Yeah.
Chaozu.
Just want to be a bald character.
Be a bald character. Well, I mean, Cell too. Cell's pretty easy as long as you can do.
Cell would be not that bad. Yeah.
As long as you can do the mache right.
Yeah.
I would want to do Raccoon.
Oh, Raccoon would be dope.
Raccoon. I would love to do Ginyu, but that would be so impossible.
Oh my god, with those giant horns! Oh my god.
Yeah. No, I want to do Trunks. We should do a Trunks and Frieza cosplay where I'm cut in half.
You want to be Cyber Frieza?
I would wear no. I want to be cut in half Frieza. So I'll have a top half of beat up Frieza. Mm-hmm. I'll wear black pants. I'm gonna play. And I'll have a stick where the legs are at. And I'll have I'll hold the stick out to the side so it looks like I'm cut in half and like doing this.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll play the fucking the Z music. That's what we'll play.
There we go.
My next list is actually my easiest one because it's over my shoulder.
Okay.
I want to do the fucking T1000, man.
T1000 would be dope, man.
I mean, obviously we've seen it done. Kenny Omega's done it before.
Yeah.
I'm not jacked or anything like that, but like I would want to do.
Right.
But I want to do Tech Noir more from the first movie, with the gray coat and the fucking laser pointed pistol.
Yeah.
To me, that's my favorite Terminator costume is the Tech Noir Terminator.
Yeah.
And that's an easy
T1000 costume is definitely the best T1000.
Yeah, that's the easy costume to do for either movie, leather jacket.
T800, not T1000.
T800, yeah, sorry. T1000, I'll be like dressed in fucking silver.
Yeah, I was going to say T1000, unless you just want to be in a cop costume.
I'll just wear my work. I'll just wear my work. My fucking.
Yeah, I was going to say you just want to wear
uniform.
your work outfit. You can just do that, but.
Yeah, no, I would do T800 Tech Noir. Sorry, that to me would be the best one. Or I can do if I went as a cop, it would be actually the fucking guy from Genesis, because he's an Asian guy.
Oh.
It would be that guy. They're cosplaying the guy from Genesis. No. T1000.
T1000.
I think that'd be cool. But like those, I think the Tech Noir costume's really rad.
Yeah.
You know what I'd actually really love to do? I just didn't think about it till now. It's like Marty in the radiation suit. As
oh, that's not too bad.
Marty and Darth in the radiation suit as Darth
I can do
Vader.
Doc Brown in the radiation suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we can do the fucking Chechens or whoever the fuck they are.
Oh yeah.
And look at the guns and shit.
Are they like Czechoslovakian or something like that?
I forget what he says. They're not Armenian. They're like Czech or Armenian. He said
something like that.
I can't remember what they are.
Some foreign group.
Yeah. Did you have any other on your list?
I had a couple others. I had I really would want to do Doomslayer.
That'd be tough.
New Doomslayer would be it'd be so tough, but
it would look cool.
If it could look good, oh my god, it would look so dope.
What would you do for the gun though?
I don't know. I feel like you probably have to do just like super shotgun.
Yeah.
Just something that's like easier, because you don't want to do like BFG or anything like that.
It's so hard.
Yeah, so hard. I feel like super shot. Also, it's like the most recognizable of all of his guns.
Yeah.
So
you can just.
I feel like super shot. Yeah.
Just do punching.
Well, he's got internally he's got the gauntlet shit with like the blade. That's like a wrist blade or something like that you can do.
Right.
So.
In the same realm, I always thought that a Master Chief costume would be sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, like a good-looking Master Chief. Yeah.
I remember I tried to cosplay one time, and I had a Bleach costume. I had a Bleach costume that looked stupid on me. But
Yeah.
I was actually trying to I was buying gear to do a cosplay actually, and I had pretty much most of it. I just never actually did it. And it was Naked Snake from MGS3. So I had,
nice.
I had tiger camo. I had the boots. I had the belt. I had the parachute thing for the what's it called, parachute. I never had the airsoft gun, but I always wanted to do a snake, and I always wanted to
snake would be pretty dope.
I always wanted to do a solid snake, but just like
I wouldn't mind doing like a poison snake or venom snake.
Venom snake, yeah.
From MGS5, that would be pretty dope.
But you have to do the head injury.
Yeah, that would be the hardest part. Yeah, that you've got to have this like giant piece of shrapnel sticking out of you.
I would think that like just doing the boss, like Big Boss, would be
Big Boss would be dope.
Just grow a beard, have
that, or doing like Ocelot. Ocelot would be cool.
Which one would you want to do though? Like MGS3, like young Ocelot, or like solid Ocelot, or like Metal Gear Solid 4.
I would probably do a young Ocelot.
Because young Ocelot, he's wearing the Russian uniform, right?
Yeah.
I think MGS1, where he's a cowboy.
I would do that, yeah,
cool
or MGS5, where he's also like kind of like pseudo cowboyish.
Yeah,
it's not bad either. Like older cool. Ocelot, yeah.
But even like, there's so many characters in Metal Gear Solid I think would be fun to cosplay as. Like any version.
It's got a lot of fun characters in that series.
Yeah, any version of Snake looks great. Whether it's
if you could pull off a Raiden, that would be sick.
That'd be so tough, man.
Yeah.
Right. Well, MGS2.
Especially
Raiden,
like
easy.
MGS4 Raiden.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
If you're like, yeah, and obviously people have done it, and I've seen like pictures of like MGS4, like Cyborg Raiden, or like Revengeance.
Metal Gear Revengeance. Yeah.
No. But yeah, Snake would be.
Which is
really
a fun
rad.
action game.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
One that I always wanted to do too, but I've seen it in person when I was young and just never did it, was Travis Touchdown.
Oh, dude, with the laser sword, that'd be so sick.
Because that's the hardest part, is making the laser sword.
Yeah.
But the costume itself is easy.
Yeah, because it's basically just like a graphic tee, jacket,
red
jeans.
jacket, pants, some sneakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think my ultimate.
And what is it? The gamer glasses. He's got those yellow glasses. Yeah.
I'm gonna leave. This is my last one I have. But by all means, continue with yours.
I only have like 2 left.
Okay, my ultimate end-all be-all costume. I would love to do. Like, I would love to do it. My ultimate end-all be-all. But I would never do it until I was on steroids and jacked. Right?
This is North Star.
That'd be awesome. Kenshiro. Would be like an 80s wrestler. So like.
Oh, okay.
Macho.
Nice.
Or even like 90s Taker. Like early Taker. Where he has the purple tie. Early 90s Taker. Okay. Purple tie. He still has the fucking ripped off like fucking.
He's got the giant surgical
gloves. The big gloves. He's still a goofy cartoon character. Not before he becomes like the dead man. Like where he's like, fucking the hair is still there, but he has the purple stupid fat tie. Yeah. He still wears a t-shirt. Like I want like that Taker. With the fucking cape would be cool.
I would want to do Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior would be pretty dope. He's always been one of my favorite wrestlers.
I always wanted to do like a Razor, but he's so big, like a gigantic person, that I would never feel comfortable walking around, going hey yo, trying to be Razor Ramon.
Hey yo.
Hollywood Hogan would be cool.
Hollywood Hogan would be pretty dope.
But definitely Taker would be rad.
Yeah.
So what were your final ones before we wrap up?
So the other ones I had was I'd like to do Kaneda from Akira.
Yeah, that'd be rad.
Jacket's so sick, but I feel like you would need the bike. Well, not really, because you got the jacket.
He has a gun too.
Yeah,
it's just a big gun.
You get the laser gun, you'd be good to go. The backpack and everything. And then the last one I had was character Arthur from Fire Force, which I'm gonna send you. Give me a sec.
It's the blonde guy, right?
Yeah, the blonde guy with he's got like a plasma sword. He's got a like hood and everything. I just really love the Fire Force. I like the Fire Force uniform a lot.
I feel like it'd be so hard to get that done right though.
Yeah, I mean the hardest part would being especially like
because it's puffy.
Like, it's puffy and it glows. The glowing part would be hard.
Yeah.
But God, it looks so cool. I honestly would pick him because he's the most recognizable. But I mean, any of them would be pretty cool. But
yeah, I'm just waiting for the day that I do a Dresden costume.
Oh,
which would be pretty easy.
That'd be sick, dude. get his blasting rod and everything.
The rod, the duster.
Yeah.
He wears jeans and he wears sneakers.
Get the pendant, have that.
Mm-hmm. It'd be pretty easy. That's awesome though, man. So do you think you actually would do any of these though?
I think the one that I would be most likely to do would probably be
Indie.
Probably Indie or Kaneda.
Yeah. I think the hard part of Kaneda.
I feel like I would want to do trunks,
pants.
but the hardest part with that would be the hair. I just don't know if I could do the hair right.
But I feel like Kaneda, you have to get the big ass patch in the back.
I mean, they have the jacket where you've got him doing like the whole thing that you can buy with the patch and everything.
Then also, wouldn't you also have to get like red pants?
Yeah, but I feel like finding red pants isn't that hard.
It isn't, but I just feel like the idea of wearing red leather pants would be kind of tough.
Yeah, it could be difficult.
You know, but you do what you gotta do for art.
Do what you gotta do for the costume, man.
But guys, this is the first episode of our Halloween month. We're gonna come back next month with more Halloween stuff, Halloween centric stuff. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see y'all back next week with more licensed reviews. Thanks for watching.
Go for broke.